As we know, the Trump regime is expanding its racist and illegal crackdown on immigrants. And much of that is being made possible by large corporations. In early December, Donald's Homeland Security Department sent ICE to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and New Orleans, and they continue their assault on American cities and people. And a company that for years touted progressive values is helping them do it, which is just awesome. Over the years, Palantir CEO Alex Karp has claimed to have walked away from contracts that targeted minorities or were, in his view, unethical in other ways. He declined to meet with Donald in 2015. And in response to Donald's deportation goals, he said that it made no sense to deport hardworking people. Those days are over. According to the Washington Post, the data management company has received $60 million this year to create software, Immigration OS. The AI powered software collects vast amounts of data to help that fascist institution track immigrants. And Palantir has a partner in crime, Amazon, of course. Watch media education group Labor on the Line break it down here.
Remember when Trump's border czar said he wants ICE to operate like Amazon? Turns out ICE couldn't operate without Amazon's help. Here's how. To most of us, Amazon is known for being the best way to get basically whatever you want delivered to our front door in a flash, thanks to an overworked and underpaid delivery driver and the invisible warehouse workforce. It's easy to forget that they bring in nearly 3/4 of their operating revenue through Amazon Web Services, or AWS. Basically, the internet's biggest landlord, renting out the servers and tools that power websites, apps, and online services across the world. In fact, nearly half of the internet runs on AWS. Everyone from Netflix to McDonald's and Toyota to Twitter. And yes, both Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and the Department of Homeland Security, DHS.
Well, that sounds just like a brilliant way to do things. Let us continue to wed the federal government to private mega corporations, so we will get to the point where there will be no distinguishing between the two. Multiple companies in the private sector are profiting from providing services for ICE as well. A Fortune article came out in June revealing that there were 13 Fortune 500 companies with active ICE contracts. Some notable ones included both UPS and FedEx, who have signed on to delivery service contracts, which is yet another reason that you should please use the United States Postal Service. This year, Dell received an $18.8 million contract to provide software to ICE's chief information officer, and at&t provides ICE with IT support and products. If the contract reaches its potential end date in 2032, it will be worth over $165 million. It won't, of course, surprise you to know that private prison companies are making a fortune off of Donald's immigration policies as well. Here's Bloomberg TV with more on that.
Some 60,000 people are currently detained, with nearly 90% of them in private facilities owned or operated by companies like CoreCivic or Geo Group, its main competitor, and that's helping drive profits. According to CoreCivic's second quarter earnings figures, ICE contracts account for a majority of its revenue.
We don't get involved in policy, but obviously there has been a lot of discussion, leading up to the campaign and the election last year and this year about, getting stronger enforcement on the southwest border and also doing a fair amount of interior enforcement with DHS and turn our customer ICE. We obviously didn't know what the outcome was going to be in the election, but I've always stressed this as CEO to plan well in advance before there is an outcome on our national election, especially like the one we had last year.
Investors moved quickly after the 2024 election. CoreCivic stock jumped before President Trump was even sworn in, as Wall Street priced in tighter immigration enforcement and more detention spending.
Yes, shocking. I know. It's all about the money. But before we go on, we need to keep applying pressure to those helping the Trump regime. So please like and share this video. And if you believe in our mission, please subscribe to the Mary Trump Media channel. As resistance against ICE spreads across the country, and it needs to spread more, quite frankly, the companies that are assisting and profiting from their involvement with ICE and the Nazi thugs who run it, are starting to catch heat for their involvement. NBC Bay Area News covered a Palantir protest. Have a look.
A lot of the protesters say, hey, ICE is getting its information on people from companies like Palantir, makes them an easy target.
Do they have a point here? Are companies like Palantir infringing on our privacy?
I mean, the short answer, as someone who's covered from tech for a long time, is absolutely. I mean, think about it, though. It is data largely that we give these companies, whether something in a search engine like Google or information on a social network or even what we put into our iPhones. Tech companies have a ton of information on us, on our families, on our children.
Yeah, they do. They have so much information on us, and whether we know it or not, that's just the way it is. You could say that's the cost of living in an increasingly technological society. However, that doesn't mean that we've given our permission for those data to be used to destroy other human beings' lives. In November, thousands of organizers gathered at various locations in the Chicago area to protest AT&T's practices. Lena Avalos, an activist with the People's Lobby, said during the protest, quote, AT&T has the nerve to air ads in Spanish while ICE and DHS are terrorizing our communities. We are here today using our constitutional rights to talk about how AT&T is selling out our communities to ICE and DHS for more cash in their pockets. During Donald's first term, mass protests broke out over companies contracted with the DHS and ICE, particularly its cruel practice of separating families at the border. Protesters and employees at some major companies successfully pressured employers to cut ties, including the influential consulting firm McKinsey & Company. As the New York Times reported in 2018, the firm cut ties with ICE despite having made over $20 million helping them carry out Donald's immigration agenda. Now, here's the thing. This is, it would seem, all about money. Private corporations don't seem to understand that fascism will, in the end, be bad for business. So we need to figure out ways to make them pay so that they start paying attention to what we want, not what is best for their bottom line. Or let me put it another way. We need to convince them that what is best for their bottom line is not continuing to infuriate the American people by participating in these racist and fascist practices put in place by the Trump regime. Please take a second and like and share this video. It'd be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please follow us and give the show a 5-star rating because it really does help other people find our content. Thanks.